Palm Springs.
Thank you for joining us for your midday news. I'm Olivia Sandusky here with meteorologist Jerry Steffen. It's a Tuesday and we are inching closer to fall.
Yeah, we are. Oh, yeah, it's about 2 weeks away, a little less than. Coming up fast. Yeah, the numbers are backing off as they should as we approach fall. That's good news. Relative humidity drier than yesterday. Nothing but sunshine. But winds will be a little bit of an issue. Not for everyone, but for certain areas around the Coachella Valley. And I'll explain a bit.
All right, that full forecast will be in just a few minutes. Let's go ahead and turn to that top story this morning. A man died yesterday after crashing on the North Indian Canyon off-ramp of Interstate 10. The Riverside County Coroner's Office saying 47-year-old Alvin Cunningham of Menifee crashed through a concrete wall divider at around 1:45 in the afternoon. Authorities arrived on scene to find Cunningham's vehicle on fire. He was unresponsive when pulled out of the truck and was transported to Desert Regional Medical Center, where officials tell us he later died. The city of Palm Springs held a ribbon-cutting ceremony today at their temporary location in Rimrock Plaza. This started around 9:45 in the morning. Palm Springs Mayor Ron DeHart giving a speech, followed by that ribbon-cutting ceremony. This location will serve as a temporary spot for the next library. They'll be there for 3 years, while the permanent location undergoes some renovations. All services are still available at this temporary spot. If you're planning to visit the Palm Springs Aerial Tramway, they are closed for annual maintenance. The shutdown for the tram started yesterday. Maintenance will end around October 13th. And Cathedral City is looking for local artists to help design a sculpture for Esperanza Park. From now until November 6th, artists can submit their designs for a chance to be chosen. The top 3 finalists will receive a $1,000 prize, and the winner will be given a budget of $100,000 to make the piece. The new park sits near the Dream Homes neighborhood that's off of San Diego Drive. Downtown Indio is continuing to expand. NBC Palm Springs' Brett Rosen spoke with business owners and city officials on their continuing efforts.
Here in downtown Indio, Everbloom Coffee just opened up their second location this past weekend. It was only 5 years ago that this business was just a pop-up coffee cart. However, now it's part of the revitalization of this downtown area. Downtown Indio is still growing, and Everbloom Coffee is the next business to be a part of the revitalization of the downtown area. Co-owner Matthew Ortega says at one point the coffee house was just an idea. He didn't know what it would eventually bloom into.
It was really just a dream that myself and my business partner EJ had, and we started out with the idea to do a coffee cart probably almost 10 years ago. And so we started back in 2020, right before the pandemic hit. So February 28th, 2020 was our first day serving. We were doing like a pop-up, and about 2 weeks later, everything shut down. And then we just kind of continued with the cart concept. And by summer of 2020, we were so busy.
Indio City officials say the importance of the revitalization of the downtown area is on the shoulders of making sure locally owned businesses are at the forefront. And Indio's Director of Economic Development, Miguel Ramirez Cornejo, says it was a no-brainer to have Everbloom Coffee be a part of the revitalization plan.
When I spoke to Matt and EJ, they wanted this to be a whole community type of feel where people can feel to come and have a place to hang out, a third place. What this means for downtown Indio is more people coming back, the revitalization continues.
Everbloom's first location is on Highway 111. It's not super spacious, yet customers still love them.
I feel like the baristas there are really cool. The vibe overall seems really nice. It's very calm.
I think it's a really great thing that they expanded, and especially in this area because it is getting to be really popular. And I think just with COD right down the street, a lot of the students are able to come here and to do their work comfortably.
Matthew Ortega says what makes Everbloom so different is the personal relationships that they have with their customers.
That focus on making someone feel invited, welcomed in, warm, embraced in a lot of ways, I think is a big part of what sets us apart.
Now, as of now, this new location for Everbloom Coffee is only open Friday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. for this month. However, when speaking to the owner, after this month, the plan is simple. be open during the weekdays with hopefully extended hours. Here in Indio, I'm Brett Rosen, NBC Palm Springs.
All right, thanks to Brett for that report. We love to see local businesses growing here in the Coachella Valley. Here's a live look outside. This is our Agua Caliente casino camera, downtown Palm Springs, where there are plenty of local businesses. As we check in with meteorologist Jerry Steffen, and I'm sure a lot of them are enjoying those temperatures today. Feels nice outside.
Yeah, and getting better as we move into the next couple of afternoons. Yesterday was the hottest day for the week, 107, 91 degrees right now, and we're going to be in the low triple digits. Calm winds, 15% relative humidity. Yeah, it's getting drier too. 84 degrees at Yucca Valley, 90 under Sunshine Desert Hot Springs, 94,000 Palms, 96 Coachella, 83 at Cabazon right now, all under sunshine. Nothing on radar over the southwest. Pretty quiet in that department, but we do have a disturbance which we'll be tracking over the next few days. A very slow moving low making its way to the east, but it'll drag a cold front through and it'll subtract a few more degrees tomorrow. But today, just above 100 degrees, slightly below normal numbers, 101 to 105 with that drier air. But there is a wind advisory. That front will kick up the winds out of the west. So we do have a wind advisory which starts at 2 o'clock this afternoon, runs through tonight for the west end of the valley, San Gorgonio Pass area mountains, parts of the high desert. So a little gusty, especially in the wind-prone areas around Southern California. Dew points fall from the 50s to 40s this afternoon with relative humidity around 10%, not bad. 102, the forecast high for Palm Springs under sunshine, same for Indio. 103 at La Quinta, 104 Rancho Mirage. Comfort Air 3-day below 100 degrees on Wednesday, mid-90s on Thursday with mostly sunny skies. Full forecast and a look at the rest of the week and the tropics coming up.
Thank you, Jerry. More local news this morning. The city of Desert Hot Springs is halfway through an 8-year housing plan, and now it's looking to residents to help shape the next phase. NBC Palm Springs' Antonio Marquez has the story.
That's right. The city of Desert Hot Springs wants to hear from the community in order to create better housing for its current and future residents. The city of Desert Hot Springs has a housing element that is part of an 8-year plan for the city.
It serves as a strategic roadmap to ensure that housing opportunities are available for all residents of Desert Hot Springs.
The city has 3,873 units for housing that are allocated by the state, which are mostly affordable housing.
Most of those units are what we call market rate units. We also have 1,104 affordable housing units. And so where we're at now, at 451 affordable housing units, we're almost at the halfway point, 50% of the meeting that affordable housing goal.
Construction in the city has remained strong, and the city has created more programs to offer housing for those residents that are looking to buy for the first time.
Programs have been very successful. We've had 13 households within the city become first-time home buyers and approximately 8 to take advantage of the home enhancement program.
And now the city wants to hear from the residents.
You can submit written comments to me by email, tclark@cityofdhs.org. They can also attend the Planning Commission meeting tomorrow on Tuesday, September 9th at 6 p.m. at City Hall here at 11999 Palm Drive. And they can provide feedback at a future City Council meeting scheduled for October 7th.
Remember that you don't have to attend tomorrow's meeting in person. You can also express your opinion by email and by going to the council meeting on October 7th. Antonio Marquez, NBC Palm Springs.
All right, thanks to Antonio for that report. Still ahead on your midday news, the job market continues to be a hot topic among Americans. How job security fluctuates regardless of your employment status. That's after the break. And here's a live look outside this morning. Our Indian Wells Golf Resort camera. Temperature is starting to feel great out there as we inch closer to fall. Jerry Steffen has that full forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more. Committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 11.
Welcome back as we turn to some news across the country. According to a new survey from the New York Federal Reserve, worker confidence in their ability to move from one job to another has reached an all-time low. Even those who are already employed are feeling less than great about the job market. Survey respondents indicated a roughly 45% chance of being able to find a new gig after losing their current one. That's down about 6 points from the prior month and the lowest mark in the survey's history. Additionally, expectations that the unemployment rate will be higher a year from now rose to 39.1%. That's up 1.7 percentage points from July. Some of those industries most exposed to tariffs are losing jobs. That's according to a new analysis of employment data. The U.S. manufacturing industry has 78,000 fewer jobs than it did a year ago. And manufacturing employment has declined 4 months in a row. That's according to the August jobs report released last Friday. The job loss in tariff-exposed industries has also contributed to a broader slowdown in hiring. The South Korean Foreign Ministry saying today it's making efforts to bring home more than 300 South Korean workers that are detained following a massive immigration raid at a Hyundai plant in Georgia last week. Earlier on Tuesday, South Korean Foreign Minister Cho Hyun arrived in Washington, D.C. to meet with U.S. authorities to finalize negotiations for the repatriation of the workers. Protesters gathering outside the U.S. Embassy in Seoul today to denounce the U.S. detainment of the South Korean workers and calling on the suspension of South Korea's investment in the U.S. The raid stunning many in South Korea because the country is a key U.S. ally. And the Trump administration's immigration enforcement is ramping up now as it sets its sights on Chicago, calling it Operation Midway Blitz. It comes as the Supreme Court agreed to lift limits on, quote, roving patrols in Los Angeles. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has details.
This morning, the Trump administration is expanding its show of federal force in a major city.
We're bringing back law and order to our country.
Launching what it calls Operation Midway Blitz in Chicago, with hundreds of Homeland Security officials, drawing both protests.
We're afraid. Our neighbors are afraid.
And support.
We're burning through funds that our taxpayers would like to see go towards the resources we need, such as more police.
It's part of a recent push by the president escalating the government's presence in major Democratic-run cities, including Los Angeles. And in a new legal victory, a conservative Supreme Court majority loosened restrictions on ICE operations there, allowing what's known as roving patrols to continue, at least for now. In her dissent, liberal Justice Sonia Sotomayor writing, "We should not have to live in a country where the government can seize anyone who looks Latino, speaks Spanish, and appears to work a low-wage job." The president's borders are insisting ICE agents are not targeting anyone based on race.
It's a multitude of factors to establish reasonable suspicion.
Yesterday, the president also touting his deployment of federal forces in Washington, D.C., but appearing to downplay domestic violence while blasting what he says are manipulated crime statistics.
Things that take place in the home, they call crime. If a man has a little fight with the wife, they say this was a crime.
The president has repeatedly framed this expansion of federal force around crime. At the same event, responding to a recent attack in Charlotte, North Carolina, where a young Ukrainian woman, Irina Zarutska, was attacked on a late-night train in August.
We have to be able to handle that. If we don't handle that, we don't have a country.
Disturbing video recently released by authorities show a man attacking the 23-year-old. Investigators say the suspect is 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown Jr., who's now charged with murder. Police and court records show Brown had been arrested more than a dozen times.
That was NBC's Gabe Gutierrez reporting. Let's go ahead and take a live look outside now. We've got your Agua Caliente casino camera in Rancho Mirage, where there's some blue skies over the Coachella Valley for your Tuesday morning. Jerry Steffen's in right after the break with your 7-day forecast.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more. NBC Palm Springs News. Even astronauts tune in for their news fix. When it comes to top stories, we're on a whole new orbit.
Really has dried out from top to bottom in our troposphere. Nothing but clear skies over the valley. Relative humidity drops. Yeah, nice view from our Agua Caliente casino cam view. Not seeing the camera shaking too much. That's kind of our unofficial wind gauge, but the winds will pick up a little later on today. Okay, yesterday was the hottest day that we'll see all week long. 107 above that 104-degree normal, and we're going to see the numbers back off slightly over the next couple of afternoons. 91 degrees at Desert Hot Springs, a sunny 96 at Thousand Palms, leading the way Indio at 103 already. 13-mile-an-hour winds. They're beginning to pick up out of the west around the San Gorgonio Pass. Not so bad right now, but stronger winds expected later this afternoon into the evening hours. As far as clouds, you can see some moving into central and northern California. Nothing on radar here. Yeah, clear skies over Southern California, quiet in that department, but we're beginning to see some echoes in Northern California, all part of a low-pressure center, which is moving its way to the west. Clouds over the Southern California area clear. Did begin with the marine layer that began to clear out over the coastal communities around 10 o'clock this morning. Okay, today, there's that disturbance I'm talking about. It's going to move its way to the east, but drag a cold front through Southern California. It also will tighten up the pressure gradient. Those isobars will be close together in certain areas, so onshore winds getting a little stronger later today. But temps Cooler than yesterday, but still above 100 degrees, 101 to 105 under all sunshine this afternoon. As far as winds, they'll be the strongest today, afternoon and evening. 30-mile-an-hour sustained winds at both San Gorgonio Pass and Desert Hot Springs, and along and north of I-10 in the wind-prone areas. You're going to get some gusty winds later on today, too. It backs off a little bit on Wednesday, but still 30-mile-an-hour sustained winds around the San Gorgonio Pass. And then Thursday, the winds really lighten up. But a wind advisory has been posted for the west end of the valley into the San Gorgonio Pass, Erie Mountains, high desert too, but nothing really for most of the Coachella Valley, although again, it'll get a little gusty late today. Today will be one of the driest days, 10% relative humidity in the middle of the afternoon. It comes up slightly, but still relatively dry through the end of the week. As far as rain with the system today, it all stays to the north and over the Sierra Nevadas, nothing for Southern California. And temps today, yeah, a few degrees cooler than yesterday, but still just above 100 degrees for the valley under clear skies. Tonight, clear totally, and low to middle 70s for overnight lows tomorrow morning. Okay, Wednesday, tomorrow. The numbers come down for the most part just below 100 degrees, nothing but sunshine. The trough moves through, knocking off a few degrees for us in the Coachella Valley. A sprinkle maybe around the San Diego coast area. That's about it. But 97 degrees on Wednesday for Palm Springs, 98 Palm Desert, middle 90s under all sunshine Thursday afternoon. Okay, tropics, we had Kiko, formerly a major Category 4 hurricane several days ago. Right now, tropical storm status, and it's weakening even more. Matter of fact, it'll fall apart as we move into this coming weekend, but it's really kicking up the surf around the Hawaiian Islands, where a tropical storm advisory has been posted. Okay, what about future tropical development? Well, let's take a look at our long-range forecast here. September 11th, September 12th, and 13th, not much going on. We have a tropical wave south of Acapulco that could develop into something and then move its way to the north. Now, as far as temps in the Coachella Valley, 102 today, 90s beginning Wednesday. Again, we have a wind advisory around the Coachella Valley that expires at 1 o'clock Wednesday morning.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more.
Tracking some breaking news this morning. The annual Our Lady of Guadalupe pilgrimage has been canceled this year. That's according to the organizing committee of the event at Our Lady of Soledad in Coachella. Local event organizers saying growing concerns in the community over ongoing immigration enforcement has led to this decision. The event draws thousands of practicing Catholics every year who make the journey from Palm Springs to Coachella. We'll have more on this decision in our evening newscasts tonight at 5 and 6 o'clock.
And now the Agua Caliente Entertainment Report, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
Well, it's not every day readers line up overnight for a book, but on Tuesday in Prague, Dan Brown fans did just that. Crowds filling Old Town Square for the launch of The Secret of Secrets, Brown's new novel set in the Czech capital, with some in place from 7:30 the night before. The first 100 walked away with a signed copy. Brown is best known as the author of The Da Vinci Code. Right now, Apple is in the midst of a major press conference here in California, making a series of announcements, including a brand new iPhone. NBC's Brian Chung reports.
Get ready for a brand new iPhone, with Apple expected to announce a range of new iPhone 17s today. Rumored to lead the lineup, an all-new slimmer option called the iPhone 17 Air.
Are we still getting excited for that? Because I haven't seen any talk about it.
Apple hoping that the 17s can excite a consumer that's felt underwhelmed by features in recent upgrades.
Apple is super boring. They'd come out the same phone every single year.
Which has largely looked the same since the full-screened iPhone X came out about 8 years ago. Meaning those days of massive frenzies over launch day are long gone.
People are not lining up at stores because they have to get that brand new phone. But they do order them, and there are big order numbers that happen this fall because people have been upgrading.
Although Apple still dominates the U.S. smartphone market, new numbers show Korean competitor Samsung gaining share, now accounting for 31% of all smartphone shipments, up from 23%.
Y'all mind your own business when you see me texting and the bubble is green.
Experts say Apple's latest bet to keep its hold on the market, the new iPhone 17s, will likely have a similar price tag, after CEO Tim Cook's negotiating to keep added tariff costs down.
If it was way more expensive, that would have consumers really looking at the lower cost competition from Google and Android phones.
It comes as those competitors show off flashy phones that flip and fold.
Same old phone? Nah.
While boasting bolder AI features that Apple has yet to bring to the iPhone.
Gemini, show me the concealer.
The long, thin tube in the middle.
Yes.
Experts say today's announcement will shy away from Apple's AI play called Apple Intelligence. And it could still be another year or two before Apple tries a more radical form factor on its flagship phones.
The reports point to Apple being pretty far along now with the foldable phone, either next year in 2026 or 27.
Yeah.
All right, that's about it for us, but we're continuing to enjoy a little break in the triples, I guess.
Not too bad for the next couple of days with the temps and the humidity, but wind advisory for the very west end of the valley, just gusty and the wind-prone areas for us, for the rest of the valley. Double digits, you got to like that. Moving into early September, 97 degrees tomorrow. Thursday, mostly sunny, 94, and a lot of double digits into the weekend. I like that.
Oh, man, the overnights. Open the window when we fall asleep. More news at 5 and 6. We'll see you then.